He's an 8-time Louisiana Association of Broadcasters Award winner. And he snapped a ball through his legs.
Wait, why does your name get to go first?
Shut up.
This is Scone T.
Because they made us.
Bang, 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 bang. What up, everybody? Welcome in, Scone T.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome in. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking.
I wasn't asking you. Moose, how are you doing?
It kind of felt like you were asking me.
How are you doing, Matt?
I'm doing great.
Great.
We're at Curbside, Government Street in Baton Rouge on a beautiful night. The Tigers and the Aggies play this week in a massively impactful game. LSU, of course, went to Fayetteville and pulverized Arkansas. I have some questions I want to ask you about that game. What?
It is... Well, ask your questions first, actually. That's a more interesting starting place.
Okay. So we are here at Curbside. Thank you so much for being with us. If you're on YouTube, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Facebook, like the page, share the post. Thanks, everybody, on podcasts as well. Please subscribe to the pod. Also, we're brought to you by our friends at AVID Inspection Specialists and BAYOU Transformers. All of our sponsors are linked in the description. They're tagged on Facebook, and we'll tell you much more about them as we move along. So thanks for being here. Okay. So I have two questions I've been waiting till this show to ask you, especially because of your background as a lineman. So number one is, I found it so interesting this week that Emory Jones was the second lowest graded player for LSU on Pro Football Focus, but he won the SEC Offensive Lineman of the Week award.
Yeah.
That's such an amazingly stark contrast.
I mean,
I'm curious what you saw when you went back and watched the film and what you've seen from Emory.
To be honest, I didn't. I mean, if Emory Jones is the second lowest player on the team, I would not have known that.
Okay.
I thought the offensive line did fantastic.
The lowest was DJ Chester.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he had a lot of. Well, he had all the pre-snap penalties, but then also that would probably check out for the entire year. Like, I mean, he's a redshirt freshman playing on a line with 2 first-round tackles and
2 4-year starting seniors.
2 4-year starting senior
Okay,
guards,
so you're not worried about it.
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, I would point to the fact that LSU currently is second in the country in sacks given up per game. They're at about 0.28. And they're sandwiched with Army and Navy.
So they're so good.
And LSU throws the ball 40 times a game.
It's wild.
And they've played, let's now look up the nation leading sack getters. LSU in, I believe, second place, if you sort by FBS only, with 24 sacks. First place is, of course, South Carolina. 10th place, Ole Miss. So you throw the ball 40 times a game and have forced the top sack team and the second, or excuse me, you're actually tied with South Carolina at 4 sacks a game. I think Boise's at 5. Excuse me, I'm a little wrong. But anyway, you face 2 legitimate top 10, arguably the best in the entire country, and you've given up the least in the country. So, I have nothing to be concerned about when it comes to the LSU offensive line.
So my other question then was about DJ Chester, because we do continue. He's a freshman, or he's a redshirt freshman, first-year starter, and he's around a lot of veterans. But we do consistently see the pre-snap penalties, and he generally does have low grades on PFF, and he does seem at times to maybe be overpowered, to be pushed back. So I'm just curious what you see from him, especially considering you played that position. But it's okay that nothing is glaring and standing out to you. That's a good thing.
No, I mean, I think the pre-snap penalties are the main thing, and that's a function of somebody who has a lot going on is being put in new situations constantly throughout this year. That's what we have to remember. Anything that DJ Chester experiences, even with the minor experience of last year's Mizzou game, which was a great sign because he came in that game and didn't look, like he was underwater. But anything he's gone through this year, Matt, is essentially the first time that he's gone through it. So of course there's going to be a learning curve.
He did go in against Missouri.
Yeah, at the very end, he was a big part of the comeback. In that he held his own. But just kind of like the Mizzou game, the thing is, physically, he doesn't have to be dominant for this line to be great. center, and he is good physically, in my opinion. I don't think I don't know what his grades are. He has not struck me as bad.
I'll tell you.
But physically, when you're a center, you can kind of get helped out maybe more than most positions by having two great guys on either side of you. And the center works in concert a lot of times with somebody else. Combo blocks to the second level, pass blocks where you're giving an arm to help, maybe receiving an arm and help. Like, so it's not a situation where you're asked to do as much fit, or it's a situation where if you have great people next to you, it can go out all right.
So if you're looking at a Pro Football Focus grading chart, it's like there's a color scale where like blue is really good, and then like green is good, and it keeps getting like to yellow to orange, like to red, which is horrible. And if you look at DJ Chester, there's a lot of yellow and orange, a little bit of green, and then there's one red.
But I mean, no, look at green though, because save for South Carolina, his pass blocking scores are really good.
Yeah, that's fair.
Out. He's a very good.
Yeah,
pass
that's
blocker.
true. So his pass blocking
And
is
like,
good. His
I mean,
run blocking hasn't been good.
This same split though would probably mirror the entire LSU offensive line. Or it should at least, because that split is kind of how I feel about their pass versus run blocking. Except maybe with like some of the other guys pass blocking, you might get into like the blue.
Yeah.
With the tackles, like the elite of the elite. But
that.
like,
okay.
I don't know. I don't. Again, this team faced South Carolina, maybe the best defensive line in the entire country, and moved the ball at will the second half.
Yeah,
Could not be stopped.
They gave up 2 sacks. That's only 2 sacks.
Think about all the
red
zone opportunities you left on the field too, and you still put up that amount of points. Like
36 points.
You dominated that defense. You came up with all the drives against Ole Miss you needed them.
How about that kid missing the field goal against South Carolina? I just thought about that.
Oh, I know. That hook shot.
Oh my God,
and it looked like it was in the whole time. He started celebrating if you rewatch the film.
Man,
Did you ever see that? Him celebrating, and then it hooked.
Like, what? But LSU's where they need to be, man. Sitting here at 6-1 overall, and going to College Station is interesting because while I've heard this from a few people in College Station that they think this is the most significant game that A&M has played since they've been in the SEC.
That's what Billy Lucci said. That's what he's been saying.
I think, and it kind of maps, right? I mean, aside from the COVID year where they were 9-1, and who really cares? I mean, you're at the end of October. They're undefeated in the SEC. They have a top 10 LSU coming in, and it's not, you're not playing LSU at the end of November now. It's in October when there's still a lot on the line for both teams. It does feel like that, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's unquestionably that it is, like you said, you sit alone atop the SEC standings as the only 2 undefeated teams, and whoever wins this game will have an inside track not only to Atlanta, but with a bit even more room for error to a playoff spot. It is, I mean, in the context of the 12-team playoff, this game is a damn near borderline play-in game.
Have you seen the line movement today?
No.
So as we're here live, if you're watching or listening on demand, it's Thursday. It opened LSU 3. It's kind of bobbed a little bit. Seemed like some 2.5s out there.
I thought it was A&M at 2.5.
I'm sorry. It was A&M 3. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So forgive me. I'm sorry. I misspoke. Yeah, A&M was a field goal favorite as it opened. And it's been 2.5, 3 pretty consistently. Today, it went to pick 'em. So you had a lot of LSU money come in today. And Lee Sterling on AFR today was a professional handicapper. He said wrong team favorite, picked LSU to win.
So I think that I view this a bit like the Ole Miss game. We're going into Ole Miss. We believe that Ole Miss was better than LSU a little bit. And but LSU had the advantage of Death Valley. In the same way, I think LSU is better than A&M by a little bit, but A&M has the advantage of that insane College Stage College Field with a blackout, like it's and all the importance and everything else. Like it's going to be the most massive stage imaginable in college football in terms of the setting and the crowd. That said, if I were a gambler and didn't have any emotion tied up in the game, the analytical piece that would be real hard for me to get away from LSU would be Garrett Nussmeier, who currently leads the SEC in QBR, leads the SEC in touchdowns. He's being asked to do a ton. You've seen that he can make the clutch plays as well. So it's not just good numbers, it's contextually good numbers. And you're like, oh, well, what about A&M's defense and front seven? They're pretty stingy. And this is all true, but you've seen this offense have success already against two of the stingiest statistical defenses in the entire country in South Carolina and Ole Miss. And so that would be the piece where on paper, it looks like the biggest advantage because Wegman is such a wild card this year.
Spurge did just talk about Chris Hilton, who is full at practice today. We'll get to that in a second.
They finally said stress fracture.
I do. That's interesting.
They had not said that before, right?
Yeah. I do want to get to. Oh, by the way, I want to reply about the quarterback thing. Someone said the food's making them hungry, so they're doing weekly specials now for Scone T. So this is the John Denver, which is a double smash burger, American cheese, bacon, hatch, chili, garlic, mayo, and roasted hat.
Oh my God! Let me take a bite.
Chile or chilies. Hatch chilies. Thank you. Those tots are GC2 tots, which is pepper jack fondue, bacon, and green onion. Oh my! Like if you and the Thursday special here.
Gosh.
The Thursday special here for Scone T, $10 large frozens. So. Bring mama on by, get her a frozen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
Bring get a little frisky.
Family-friendly show. Well, right after, family-friendly show. Kids are running around. Beautiful bird song in the air. Cool air. We got babies out here drinking bottles of milk.
Babies drinking bottles of milk.
But no, in all seriousness,
very descriptive.
This
so much
is
information.
A great way to come spend a Thursday night, and these are awesome. We'll start pushing these every week.
Okay, so here's. You said it feels similar to the Ole Miss LSU, but in reverse. If I ever feel like teams are even, I would always look at three things. I look at quarterback, coach, and venue. And in this instance, if you look at quarterback, heavy advantage LSU, coach advantage LSU, venue obviously advantage A&M. I think 2 out of 3 you lean with LSU. And honestly, T, the more I look at this game and today, yesterday and today, I really started digging into it. I'm not sure that A&M is a team that is built to expose the things where LSU is weak. For example, I think we'd agree. I think LSU, when they have to face an elite receiver, like when they saw Trey Harris, like when they're going to see Ryan Williams, I don't know that they have, with all the respect to Zy Alexander, I don't know that they have guys that can go just lock down an elite receiver.
Yeah. I think that's still fair to say.
A&M doesn't have that.
Alexander does have stupid good stats, but that's still fair to say. Even though when he did come in that second half, Trey Harris.
But Trey Harris,
but then he also got hurt. Yeah, he got hurt and exited him. So whatever. That means saying Zy has potential.
Yeah,
but we can't say that we expect that.
He's your best guy, no doubt. But he's also not the guy that you think is going to go Derek Stingley, Devontae Smith.
No, I agree. Just saying that he's already done better than I thought he would up to this point.
Okay.
So I think he has more ceiling than I gave him credit for. But no, I think that's completely
player, man.
I think that's completely fair to say, though, that you would not sit here and expect LSU to be able to do that.
And then, for me, I think the biggest matchup in the game is A&M's ability to run the ball. They average 218 rush yards a game.
Yeah.
Le'Veon Moss is a really good player. He averages 6.5 yards a carry. He's a kid from Estruma. Well, they've had a bit of an offensive line shuffle due to injuries, and Chase Basantis, their starting left, is out. So Chase Basantis was the number. I looked it up today. He was number 46 overall in the country. The number 1 player in New Jersey. LSU, everybody recruited, but LSU recruited him. He signed with A&M, started at right tackle as a freshman every game, all 13 games. This year they moved him to left guard. He's been the starter every game. He's 6'6", 320. And he injured his leg in the Mississippi State game last Saturday. He is out. So that's a really big deal on the interior of that offensive line against an LSU run defense that's playing way better, man. It's and
he's replaced with a true freshman.
It's kind of incredible.
Jay Basantis is, sorry.
Yeah, the LSU, the success the LSU run defense has had, I think, is maybe one of the biggest contradictions of what what the narratives have been around LSU's inability to stop the run. They're 33rd in the country in run defense.
It's better. I mean, and again, that's in the context of you just beat Ole Miss, who is 3rd in the SEC, right behind A&M at 200 yards a game, and just beat Arkansas, who is 4th in the SEC at 176 a game.
Arkansas went into the game at 199 a game, and you held them to 38. Arkansas went into at 199 a game. You held them to 38. Now, Taylor Green maybe was limited. Jaquindon Jackson left with injury, so maybe that's part of it. But even when those guys were in there, when Jaquindon Jackson was in the first half, he didn't do anything.
No, they shut it down. So yeah, and what's funny is it's not hard to figure out. It is an interior defensive line that is starting to play with better and better technique every week. And as much love as we gave him on Bro and everything early on, he still deserves it. You know, he's playing great freshman. He's continued to ascend. Gio Paez and Paris Shand have really emerged as your stalwarts.
Imagine that, a 5th and a 6th year guy.
Yeah, your stalwart Shade and 3. And then Javier Suggs is an excellent pass rusher who comes in fresh in obvious passing downs and consistently gets pressures. I like seeing him and Shand get a sack last game. But anyway, in run defense, though, those guys have gotten so much better at holding the point of attack, muddying waters up, and now they're being played, playing behind them are 2 linebackers that are playing as instinctual as anybody, with Whit Weeks being the obvious standout, like outlier standout to lead the SEC in tackles when he didn't play as many plays as he did early on is a testament to that.
How do we feel about the nickname?
It's like the first to her Honky Badger. I think it's funny.
Can we do I don't know. Can we do that?
So I don't know.
So everybody has asked about shirts, and so I was talking about it.
Shirts is getting a little more.
I'm like, I don't know if we can do that. People keep asking me, when are y'all going to make a
what
shirt?
I'm doing with the whole
we
drama?
We have 929 Misfits where we have the Nuss Bus shirts and a lot of good stuff there. But I'm like, I don't know. I don't think we can do that. Everybody I bring that up to has that. And if you have that reaction, no, I don't know, man.
I don't know. But I'm pretty sensitive to that stuff normally. But
sorry.
A lot of times the words of that stuff are, which kind of group is it describing? And so, we're honkies.
Right.
So,
If you're, I guess if you're insulting a white guy, does it really matter? I don't care. You can call me a honky. I don't care.
No, but I get it that it's more complicated than that. I guess what I've been doing with that whole situation is just ignoring it.
So what can we call it? So if we don't go with that, then what do we go with? Someone tweeted me today and said, BAYOU Badger. And I'm like, no,
bro. It's gonna come. You can't manufacture this thing. It's gonna be hard to shake.
It has. That's the thing.
What?
It has.
What?
You said it's gonna come organically. It has. It already has.
No, that's what I'm saying. So there's no point trying to come up with an alternative. Just weeks. But anyway, so he's obviously playing awesome. I can't put his name
on a shirt though.
Greg Pinn's playing awesome. What do you mean? Just like put him in a Wolverine outfit and put Badger or something. There's other options out there. You don't have, it doesn't have to be.
Well, I have an idea. I just don't know artistically how to do it. I need someone who's better at graphic design that can do it for me.
Anyway,
these are really good.
It's probably the first or second play of last game. It's just clinic tape where Arkansas is trying to run an inside zone and Gio Paez is putting everything he has into sinking his haunches. He has the guard and the center held up. They can't get off on the linebacker. Whit Weeks comes roaring off of Gio Paez's hip, makes the play right at the line of scrimmage. And it's that was not there at the beginning of the year, and it is here now, and you see more of it every single week. And that's why the results have been the results. That said, I do think A&M has a better offensive line than Ole Miss did, and I think they have a better offensive line than Arkansas did.
Even with the injuries?
Oh, I don't know with Besantis. That's true.
That's
that's true. He's being replaced with a true freshman.
What's so interesting
maybe a
to
redshirt
me?
freshman.
As I think about it, I remember, you still remember this too. We talked to Paez on AFR, and I remember him say, this is right after he committed, and I remember him saying when he was picking a school, he was only going to go somewhere that ran a 4.3 because at Wisconsin he was a 3.4 end, and basically he was just a space eater, and he wanted to go somewhere where he could go make the plays.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because what you just described is essentially all the things that he did at Wisconsin.
But it is different because he's shaded. He's not head up. It's not a 3-way go, and he does still have the ability to get in on a lot of tackles, and he gives full out effort. And there is no doubt he is playing. I love that. It's not every time that he's being comboed, right? So if he's one-on-one, he's on a shade. He doesn't have a 3-way go So he just gets to hold his gap and can be way more aggressive. And they're doing a excuse me.
You're good. You're good.
I got taught in my throat.
Get up.
I got taught in my throat.
Get up.
And they're doing I got taught in my throat.
Take a sip. You know, he reminds me. You finish that thought. I'll tell you, he reminds me of. Then I want you to think about this and tell me. Like, he kind of reminds me in his career right now, and I'm not saying this just because they like physically look similar. I mean, I guess that's part of their build is similar, but it reminds me a lot of Braden Fehoko. Like, Fehoko was a guy who didn't dominate the stat sheet and was undrafted. Went to the league, made the team.
Did it look like I was an alien?
No.
I used to love doing that joke when I was younger.
No.
With my shirt. What were you saying about Foga?
Paez reminds me of Fehoko. He was a guy that was impactful in more ways than just on the stat sheet. Like, I'm looking at Paez right now in the season in 7 games, has 13 tackles, 1 sack, 2.5 TFLs. So, like, that's not going to pop, but it's very clear the impact he's making. He's a very smart player, technically very good player. Like, and I think he'll make an NFL roster. I think he's a lot like Braden was.
Yeah, I don't know. Man, this tot's not messing around. No, I'm good. I'm good. It's gonna come. Dude, what do I think about his NFL prospects? You know, I don't. You know, borderline roster guy. You know, definitely get a shot at camp. See what happens. I don't know if he'll make it or not. A lot of that stuff can be very situational or contextual.
No doubt, bro.
But he's playing better and better. And
it's one of the benefits of going undrafted, dude. You pick a spot where they have a plan for you that fits what you want to do, man. You can make a team. That's what Braden did.
And yeah, exactly. And also, I mean, all these guys are getting better and better every week because Bo Davis is just a really good technician, dude.
By the way, you tweeted myself and Matt Moscona are live. It would be.
Do you know why though? I knew you were going to say
because
something.
You're
so you
not
fell
good.
Into my trap.
You're not good at grammar.
No, because if you at somebody first in a tweet, it doesn't populate because it just goes straight to you. It doesn't go in the timeline. What?
Or you could
do a period, but I don't like how that looks.
Or you could put I'm live with Matt Moscona at Curbside.
Oh, I could have done that.
You could have done that. You could have.
But I knew you were going to say something about myself and Matt Moscona because literally every single time I've done it for that exact same reason of the years, you say something.
You know, it's kind of a I don't know, man. It's kind of a curse. I can't help it. Like, if you ask my mom, I remember.
Mom an English teacher?
No.
Typist?
But even when my mom was like, she worked in the church offices, the receptionist and the secretary and the bookkeeper for like a long time. But that has nothing to do with it. But even when I was a kid, like, she'd get mad at me and say, "Why you always have to correct people?" I'm like, I don't know. So I'm telling you, this is something that's been innate from when I was a kid. And I guess from my standpoint, it's not that I think I'm flawed. Like, if I was screwing something up, I would want someone to tell me, "Hey, that's not how you do that."
No, I get that.
I would rather someone tell me, "Hey, do it this way." I'm like, okay, thank you so much. I would hate for some like bald-headed, bearded, overzealous guy to think I was an idiot because I didn't know the difference between myself, me, I, parts of speech, and whatnot. These tots are good, bro.
Are you done? I'm just letting you run out of steam. I'm not gonna bar with you here. I'm just letting you ride that horse into the wall.
Into what wall am I riding a horse?
Maybe not right into a wall, just like kind of running out of steam, just like you're like charging downhill, but then like nobody's there to accept the charge. Wait, what about this? What did I want to talk about at the very beginning of the show in regard to the game? Oh, the Arkansas game. This is what's interesting to me about that game. That was probably the most complete tape that I'd seen yet on this team in terms of just really executing at a really high level throughout the game. Despite that, it is pretty fascinating that if you think back to when Whit Weeks made that play, it is 16-10. It is halfway through the third quarter. You had just punted for the first time, and Arkansas's last 2 drives were a touchdown and a field goal. So even though you really controlled that game and executed super high the entire time, you were still on the verge potentially of that place turn into a madhouse and that turn into an insane game. So I say that on one hand to really credit Whit Weeks for such an astounding lightning bolt of a play that you could take a game that was pregnant with potential, like really seemed like it was about to come online, and you just zapped it out of existence with one play. All of a sudden it's 24-10 out of nowhere, right?
Yes.
Instead of 16-10, they have the ball, they just scored, they just stopped you, all these sort of, it's 24-10 game over.
Dude, we talked about on Whiskey and Wine, man. It felt exactly like every Arkansas game you'd ever been in. You're like, you've dominated this whole freaking game, and now there's 5 minutes to go in the third, and they have the ball with a chance to go take a lead.
And
it's
that's
like,
also
unbelievable.
And that is the danger of also being on the road and everything, right? So my point is, this week, like, I mean, look, it's going to be a dogfight. It is going to be a dogfight, even if you play really well. It's going to be. I will be playing. Look, I'll approach any game that I feel like it's this close, just like Arkansas last week. I will approach with expecting the fight, and then being pleased if it doesn't happen.
Pleasantly surprised if LSU goes and rolls. I do think LSU's better, but as we saw with Ole Miss, like the more talented or better team doesn't always win. Like I think objectively, Ole Miss has more guys that are like NFL draft picks. I mean, they went and spent a crap load of money in NIL for this roster. Like, it's not a knock on LSU. Like, there's a reason they were favored in your place. Like, and they had opportunities. They missed a 32-yard field goal. They dropped a walk-in 81-yard touchdown. You gave them the ball at your 13. They went for it on the fourth down and got stopped. Like, what if they just kicked the field goal at 13? Is it different? I mean, but they didn't. They didn't. Like, you outcoached them, you outplayed them, and you hung around and you won the freaking game. But I think about this game the same way in reverse. I do think LSU, this is kind of what I was asking you earlier, is like, is there, when I was talking about the A&M wide receivers, is there anywhere on the field where you look and say A&M has a decided advantage? And I don't mean like, okay, A&M's defensive line is better than LSU's defensive line. I'm saying like A&M's defensive line against LSU's offensive line. I'm like, I've seen, like you just pointed out, I've seen South Carolina, I've seen Ole Miss. I've seen this movie before. People say, oh, that great defensive front seven, they're going to give LSU trouble. I'm like, all right, well, 7 games they've given up 2 sacks. Next, like you get them. I'm not saying you won't, but if you do,
Atlanta
like
Jackson hit Garrett Nussmeier twice. Like he actually beat Will Campbell twice.
He did, and he got rid of the ball,
but didn't get home.
There was
that's
the one where
Nuss
had just got rid of the ball
because Nuss knows,
He's great.
Nuss
Exactly
knows how to get the ball out of his hand.
No doubt.
No, I mean that's I mean, again, am I biased? Am I too close to the situation? I watched the A&M Mizzou film, and then I watched a lot of the Mississippi State film to try to see them maybe at their best, and then at like maybe what's something that looks a little worse. And when A&M was at their best, where would I see them having an advantage?
They were
I mean, I would say potentially if they run block you really well. I don't know that you faced an offensive line that good yet.
That is what I think is I did this today, but like that is what I think is the matchup of the game. It is, I think if you wake up on Sunday and you look at the box score and A&M runs for 215 yards, they win this game.
Yeah.
It's like, that is the statistic, because I look at Connor Wigman, and brother, it's so funny because there was a lot of conversation preseason about Wigman as a first-round pick. There were a lot of mock drafts and as a first-rounder.
Yeah, I know.
And the first game out against Notre Dame, he threw for he was like 13 of 30 for like 100 yards. He was awful. And I'm like, that's
very good Notre Dame defense for what it's worth.
Yes, they're a good defense, but if you're going to be a first-round pick, there's a higher standard. That's the same thing
I agree. I'm not saying that.
I'm
just saying that.
We got to talk about
Notre Dame.
We got to talk about Tennessee too. And we ain't talked about that yet. You heard?
Oh, bro. I mean, come on. I've already. I feel like I've already laid down my sword.
Bro. I'm so excited
in this regard. But hold on, finish your point though.
What was my point? I don't know. Now I'm just thinking about Bama losing again. How exciting that makes me.
It was
running game. So I think A&M running the football. You look at the box score.
Oh no, you're talking about the Mizzou game, and how bad Wigman was, first round pick.
Yeah, so that was against Notre Dame. He was good against Mizzou. That was the only good game he played when he came off of injury. A lot of people thought that Marcel Reed was going to play that game.
Yeah, we were all making fun of it, like, what? They're going to start Connor Wigman when we heard?
He played great.
Great.
And honestly, if you remember,
18 to 22.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
There was a play early in that game. It was one of those days for Mizzou where it was like it was like Murphy's Law.
They had the
Whatever
pass
can go wrong,
interference,
will
and
go
then
wrong.
they picked up randomly on their first drive.
They
Luther
caught
Burden 75-yard touchdown.
Yes, they caught the 75-yard touchdown. That would have made it like 13-7 early, and then they brought it back for penalty. And then it just like it was like the LSU Tennessee game in Baton Rouge in 22 when like Besh fumbled the opening kickoff, and then it was just like it's like well just
also
pack it up and go. This one's what
Mizzou's offense is just a disaster.
Yeah,
this year.
no doubt.
Just an absolute. It's actually why Alabama's very lucky. Mizzou probably gonna have no Brady Cook in all likelihood. The running back is out. Yeah, Alabama. This should be an easy get right.
Bro, what if Drew Pine? What if Drew Pine goes off?
Then
But
Bama will not be burning. It will be burnt.
This is what
It will be burned.
God, dude.
Past tense.
If Drew Pine goes off, but here's what I will
Drew
say.
Pines.
No,
I don't want to say sucks. His place is on the pine though.
There's no. Here's what I will say though for this week, it is much harder to come in cold off the bench when you've been training like we're a scout team all week. And to go play, as opposed to going to the start of the week, knowing you're the starter and preparing as the starter.
But not even Kenny Dillingham could get Drew Pine good.
Yeah,
Kenny Dillingham's a pretty dang good quarterback.
But he did not have
developer.
Luther Burden or Theo Weiss or. Well, I'm just going to stop there because that's really all that.
Okay, I could see
Luther Burden and Theo Weiss can get open.
No,
if you can hit them, they can get open if you can hit them.
But Luther Burden's been. I mean, his stats are pretty good. It's nothing. It's been bad all year. I don't understand it. It's crazy.
Look at that.
Yeah, look at it's a little Triforce, a little tater try, little tri-tater.
Don't people about BAYOU Transformers?
Oh yeah, I should tell them about BAYOU Transformers. BAYOUTransformers.com. BAYOUTransformers.com. Your one-stop shop for any of your transformer needs, whether it's just maintenance, you need refurbishing. Maybe you need a full replacement. BAYOU Transformers understands the urgency of the situation, that this is not like we'll get to it when we get to it sort of situation. It is a literal cost to your business. And when they do the complete replacements, it all comes with a 5-year warranty as well. So you have peace of mind after the work is done. Get it done efficiently, quickly. BAYOUTransformers.com, BAYOUTransformers.com.
And AVID Inspection Specialist. Big shout out to Christian, our guy over there at AVID. High-tech home building and property inspections. You need an inspection, it's easy. You go to AVID. AVID Inspection Specialists. They can do it all for you. Even mold. We've actually done a lot of work with Christian over at AVID at Parish Restoration. So, whenever he'll go do an inspection, he finds mold. Sometimes he'll refer business to us. So, great dude. Highly, highly, highly recommend. You can always get a free estimate. Go to the website at avidspecialists.com. If you're selling a home, buying a home, you need a home inspection, avidspecialists.com. I did post.
Remember, we're out here at Curbside, too.
I did post both AVID and BAYOU Transformers links in the YouTube chat as well. They're pinned it, or they're linked in the description of the YouTube episode and we're tagged on Facebook. Yeah. Good.
Dude,
tagged on Facebook and tagged on Facebook.
So this is a John Denver.
That's
a
John
double
Denver's
smash burger.
Yeah.
American cheese, bacon, hatch chili, garlic mayo, roasted hatch chilies.
So good.
This thing's unbelievable. And they got $10 large frozen March night. So coming out every Thursday, we'll start getting you these specials earlier in the week. You look forward to them. Come on out for them.
You didn't say it was a frozen March.
Well, it says frozen, so I don't know.
But they have Frozies up there too. So like
they have
different kind of frozen drinks.
Oh, $10 large, any frozen.
Yeah.
Frozen drinks. That makes sense.
Yeah.
My God, this John Denver is good, dude.
This place is so good. You should come here.
We're going to get to super chats, but Chan says, ask T-Bob, how will it feel seeing Moffitt and Maroon on the other sideline? Yeah, man. Not good. I mean, I'll probably be in black for whatever that's worth, but not good. Not good. I saw a picture of him in the A&M stuff today. Didn't love it.
It's weird.
It feels weird on so many levels. I love that man. But even... I mean, I don't know. This is definitely a situation it's probably too biased on, but I think it's impactful. Everything I've heard is that he has really connected with that team. And I mean, Matt, everybody that you've ever talked to that's worked,
everybody loves him.
Been worked out by, played for Tommy Moffitt.
I didn't play for him, and I love him.
That's what I'm saying, is obsessed with him, right? And so it's not hard to imagine that he's built that same rapport in A&M with that team. That's what I've heard as well.
Yeah.
And so it's absolutely a thing that he's telling them, you know, hey, these guys fired me. Like, let's get there. Let's get their butts. Let's
get their butts.
Yes.
I want some butts.
This is a family friendly atmosphere. Let you know. His chili's hot this week, and their chili's going to be hot because of it. And he's going to have these boys ready to play. I do wonder one thing about A&M. We don't know how they're going to respond to the stage. It could be really good. It could be really bad. But it's like a big test for Mike Elko, I think, as a head coach and a program builder. This is a big test in year number 1 to have a year 3 Brian Kelly program come in. And we know how LSU responds to the pressure in the stage because we've seen it now multiple times. Like they can handle themselves in a fight when it matters on the biggest stage. We still have to see kind of what A&M's made of in that regard. And maybe it's really good because I do really like Mike Elko. Like I think that was the perfect, like, more humble, blue collar defensive hire that they needed to get a more solid culture developed there and be able to build with still having some of the like flash and excess of talent, but like combine it with more substance than what Jimbo was creating.
Well, the Jimbo situation there was just so weird, man. Like he's not a bad coach. They just you
the
have
game
to
kind
have
of passed him by a little bit.
But he just never built culture there. And it's so hard to do because they're trying to just throw money at the situation. Like the greatest class ever with the 5 stars or whatever it was, like they tried to just throw money at it and they got all those guys and it was a mess, dude. Like you had veterans on the team, like that kid who's never done anything is coming in making this money. It just,
there's something to be said too for, you know, some of the traditional aspects of recruiting. A kid going to some place because, not even that he like grew up a fan or really believes in it, but because he looked around and he says, this is where I feel the best about my future and where I want to commit. Obviously, I am someone where money would probably be the most important factor, right?
You think when you were 18, that would have decided?
I mean, how large is the gap, right? I mean, is it 30% more? Is it 10% more? 10%? No, I mean, then that's probably negligible. If it's getting up to 30, 40.
I mean, for you even with your family and ties to LSU, and you never were considering anything else.
No, I mean, that's true. But there was, but I didn't exist in a world where there was $100,000 available. Like when you go play for LSU,
your
they were
dad
going to give you 50.
Dude,
it was going to be 100.
Well, let me not speak for your dad. You're thinking like if someone offered you 100K,
mercenary. That was like one of his core values raising us, right? I mean, he went from the Saints to the Falcons.
It's different when you're in professional football and you have a very small window to maximize. And I like $100,000 is wonderful. And I'm not saying that that's any small amount of money and should be looked any way upon. I'm not judging anybody for whatever decision they make. Like there are people who it is just binary. It is who is going to pay me the most money. That's where I'm going. Maybe it's a family situation. That's fine. I'm just asking you, like from a standpoint, like, you've told me about how like proud your grandfather was when you went to LSU and you got to tell him. And like,
those are all factors as well. I just said the money would probably be the heaviest factor and everything else factors in. What's the depth chart like? Am I going to get playing time? All the emotional ties that you talk about, that absolutely matters as well.
I just want to clarify because you did say that would be like the money would be the most important factor.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. But it's still weighted. It's still all of them together. So like it's not going to be an exact equation. At a certain point, a place that's paying you less could become more attractive than a higher monetary offer. I'm not saying that it's 100% highest money wins, but again,
there are people like that.
Well, that's okay. I mean, no, I'm saying like, but I mean, who could blame them? If somebody's going to pay you 50% more, it's hard not to entertain that. And I mean,
there have been somewhere the numbers aren't 50% more. It's slightly more, and it's a less desirable situation.
Oh,
but just more.
For
People
sure,
just say,
for sure.
"What is that?"
I mean, but see, that's actually, you talk about kind of my privilege, right?
Look at Bryce
That's
Underwood.
where, but that's maybe where my privilege would come into play, is that I wouldn't have to feel like I had to chase every single dollar. So I probably could leave dollars on the table and feel okay about it because I like this other situation.
T-Bob basically saying he would have played at Oregon is hilarious.
Bro, I mean, like, what if Texas is going to offer you $100,000 and LSU is going to offer you 20? Even with my upbringing, it would be very hard not to go take the Hundy.
That's where I think then the conversation comes in about, like, is it in? See, I like with your upbringing. And again, I don't know. Like, I could go look up how much your dad made playing in the NFL. Like, I could look up his contracts, but that doesn't always. That's not always
matter.
Like it doesn't, because it's like you have agent fees and you have taxes and you have like it's anyway.
Well, like, what is that? My money?
Yeah, no, that too. But still,
like,
no, for
my
sure.
Money.
But sometimes you look at the world through that prism. Like, it's different whenever if you feel like you have to take this money to go provide for your family.
Oh, I agree. That's what I'm saying. My privilege would have led me to be one of the few who maybe. Like, even though I'm still saying money would be the heaviest factor, I would actually be one of the few that would probably be able to not chase the extra 15 grand or whatever if I didn't think it was worth it.
But I will tell you that I know part of recruiting pitches. Like, I'll tell you, like, this is the thing with Bryce Underwood. Like, of course, LSU has a very healthy NIL offer for Bryce Underwood. But we've seen all the stuff with Portnoy where he's saying, I'll give $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, whatever. Like, if Michigan wanted to go throw more money at Bryce Underwood than LSU is, they could do that.
Yeah, for sure.
But Bryce Underwood, they have sold him on the idea of, hey, look at what LSU has done recruiting and developing quarterbacks and what you're going to make 10, 20, 50, 100-fold over the life of your football career.
But that is
instead of going to a place in Michigan where they won the national championship, but
no, I understand.
All they did was run the ball and play defense.
No,
nobody wants to go play in that system. So, like, but they sold Underwood on Joe Sloan. Like, he loves Joe Sloan.
Yeah.
He loves the swag of LSU. Like, these things, I haven't talked to Bryce Underwood. The things
he's all on the record saying.
He loves, like, just the. I mean, you got Odell on the sideline and Jets, and they're, you know, I mean, yes, yeah, like, he wants
Michigan's
it, like,
very like august and old school. It's got no.
You're a Michigan man.
Yeah, it's got no seasoning. It's like the difference between the two part of the country's cuisines. But no. Again, though, a Bryce Underwood, in my opinion, Matt, is the exception, not the rule. Like, I never really I didn't bank that I was going to be an NFL player. Like, I hoped for it and I tried to work for it, but like, I never expected it. Like, the guys who are like, yeah, I'm going to go to college for 3 years and go to the NFL. Like, those are the freaks. And so, yeah, they can maybe take the NFL money into account, but what if you're not that? And it's like,
I agree.
This is my window to get paid doing this.
I have no problem with that.
And so that's that. Again, we're getting really sidetracked here.
No, it's a good conversation. I don't think it's sidetracked. I mean, it's an interesting convo.
Yeah, this is just like,
dude, I am the most pro NIL guy ever. You know that we've had this guy. Like, I am.
I know you're not.
I am like pro NIL, pro transfer portal. Huh?
How did we get here? Well, I mean, look what it's done for the sport, dude. The sport's awesome.
Jimbo.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, look at what it's done for the sport now. The sport is awesome. Like, in terms of the transfer portal, everybody gets to plug holes. There's no awful teams anymore.
There's no
guys get second life. How many starting quarterbacks this year would be buried? Look at Pitt. What's Pitt doing right now? What's the score?
They were winning 10-0.
They were winning 10-0, yeah.
24-0
because Eli Holstein.
Otter gave out Syracuse. That's why Muse and I are a little salty. Syracuse.
I mean, Fran Brown, though. Fran Brown has Syracuse fun and exciting this year. Kyle McCord's making $800K at Syracuse, and he is playing he's playing lights out.
I don't know, how. I mean, everybody we'll move on, but everybody poo-poos portal and NIL, and they're like, "Oh, college football is going to become the NFL." I'm like, yes, the NFL is the most amazing product that everybody watches. It is the most viewed thing ever because there's parity and anybody could win anytime. And you don't just you go into a season knowing there's only 6 teams that legitimately have a shot to win the national championship and everybody else is playing for whatever stupid bowl game. No, like LSU this year, this is going to sound wild. Like, do you think LSU on the right day could beat Georgia? I do.
Yeah.
Do you think on the right day LSU could beat Texas? I do.
Yeah.
Do you think on the right day LSU could beat Oregon?
Yeah.
I mean,
Oregon, look at them in the beginning.
Look at LSU 2 years ago that went to the SEC championship and got housed by Georgia.
Yeah.
Like, that team didn't have a shot of winning the national championship. Like, this is the point of what sports should be. Like, you are allowed to improve as the season goes along. There should be a true, fair playoff system where you play on the field. You're seeing it, man. And it's going to be better when they expand from 12 to 16.
It should be a meritocracy where if you do good at your job, your hope is that you get a promotion. If you ball out on the group of 5 level and somebody wants to pay you then to move to a better company and come play major college football,
yes,
you should be able to do that.
And by the way, I think Will Wade, okay, then we'll go. Will Wade, I think, said it best. Like, I asked him that. He's at McNeese now. He's like, he uses that in recruiting. He says, hey, come here. Come for a year.
Yeah.
You'll do awesome. And then you'll get an NIL opportunity to go somewhere. Come on. Like, and then he says, you know what? Then I'll get the next one. It's like, yes, you can either complain about the system or you can use the system to your advantage every year.
Well, and so, but to go back to what spurred all of this is that I think there is still something to be said for creating a mixture of your mercenaries and your people who may weigh the other ties heavier and aren't as monetarily focused. Jimbo and company went so all in on the money and created a brittle culture that never found root.
Yeah.
And we've seen a couple times now in the transfer portal how mercurial it can be when you go all in. Look at Florida State. Look at Ole Miss.
Where there that's a Mike D word.
There's really high
Shut up, Mike D.
high points.
I love Mike D. I miss him so much. I'm sorry.
Does he say mercurial?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mercurial.
Mercurial.
Oh, dude, I love him. I miss him so much, dude.
But
I wish him and your dad would quit doing radio so he could come on my show again. Like, can those 2 old guys just retire and then so Mike D can come on my show again?
Let's do heavy talking dudes.
I'll hire the cannon here. He can do like some consult spot duty here. Just come on whenever he wants.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because he's in his like semi-retired.
He'll be
phase.
a correspondent.
But so it's just it's team building. Team building in the modern era.
I wouldn't take the cannon and make him like a social media superstar. Like, I'd put the cannon on everything, man. I'd put you and the cannon together.
The problem is he doesn't want to do any of it.
Doesn't matter. I would just be like, Bobby, give me 30 seconds.
What I'm saying is he wouldn't leave the house.
That's fine. From his house.
You have somebody go over to your house because he ain't filming himself.
No, that's fine. Yeah, hold up the camera, Bobby.
I mean, then you got to give me 30 the door.
Give me 30 seconds on Sean Payton. I'll get you to give me a key.
No, dude.
So good. Give me the cannon. Cannon and Mike D.
But so, I mean, team building in the modern era is not an exact science, and it's fascinating to watch people figure out. But if you can, still the way that Smart and Kelly and like on the scale, you have Dabo, who's just not changing, staying old.
Yeah.
You have Kelly and Smart somewhere in the middle, and then you have like Norvell and Kiffin at the far end. And watching all these, and everybody else falls in that spectrum, and watching that all is really interesting outside looking at.
Please smash the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. Shout out to everybody listening on podcasts as well. Please subscribe to the podcast. We appreciate you being here. Big shout out to Curbside. Again, awesome spot right here on Government Street, the heart of Mid-City in Baton Rouge. Just an amazing spot. We're outdoors. The outdoor patio is awesome. Kids running around. There's covered areas. There's TVs everywhere. So if you want to come for lunch, it's all fenced in as well. So a great place to bring the family any night of the week or to watch games, sit inside, outside, whatever. Great spot right here on Government Street. We really, really appreciate Curbside for hosting us every Thursday. No show next Thursday. It's Halloween and you're going to be at Disney. So
yes,
no show next Thursday.
Yep. Gonna be at Mickey's Not So Scary Christmas Party.
Yeah.
Yay. The in-laws.
All right, you want to go to
yeah.
Oh, by the way, can we talk about Tennessee beating Alabama?
Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it now. Or we got. Do you want to do 3? We got 3 super chats, and we'll do it. I don't know what Thomas Pyatt's talking about here. The actors on the commercial need some help. Holy smokes, but funny nonetheless.
I don't know.
Maybe the curbside.
Oh, the
commercial?
curbside. Oh, it's got to
we
be.
just
Yeah,
did?
the curbside deal. Yeah.
God, our mics are so hot.
Yeah, they need to turn that volume down.
But
if you haven't seen it yet, go check it out.
Those were cheap mics. There's no volume adjustment on that
Oh,
thing.
okay. What if you do on the input? There had to be an app or something like that.
The bad mics, though, kind of work with the vibe of it. But it's very funny. We had a good time Slade work. They didn't use a slow motion shot.
I was a little surprised by not using the slow motion shot. I mean, that was really good.
Bryce Boudreaux Combat. I'm going to do it my own. Bryce Boudreaux Combat Sports Announcer, $10 super chat. Headed to CSTAT Saturday morning with my dad doing a full LSU takeover at Dixie Chicken.
Okay.
The most I've ever spent on a ticket. Oh, headed to College Station. Sorry. The most I've ever spent on a case ticket, but I don't give a F.
Bleep.
I want to see
Yeah.
sad Aggies fan and a fast lane to Atlanta. Bleep that dog. I mean, look, again, in many ways, this is almost a play-in game. I mean,
Do
if
you
you
wanna
were
go
to
to
win
Atlanta?
this game, yeah, hell yeah. I don't care about now it would be it's going to be very interesting to see if a 2-loss team in Atlanta loses, what happens. I agree.
That's my theory.
I agree. But
Drop a game, win this one, lose to Bama, go 10-2, go to Atlanta as a 7-1 SEC team, and you lose there, and you end up 10-3, and it's like,
yeah, it's going to get awkward. They'll probably leave you out.
So, dude, it's like the funny thing. So this is my point about Georgia. People like Georgia went back-to-back championships. Like, oh, is Georgia slipped? Like, Georgia was undefeated last year. They were still Georgia. They were number one the entire season, wire to wire. They lost to Nick Saban because they just can't seem to beat Alabama, and they got left out of the playoff. If Georgia was in the playoff, they would have won another national championship.
I mean, I don't think Georgia beats Michigan. I think we can't say that. We can't say that.
Oh, congrats, because Michigan beat Kalen Hefty Harson in the national championship game.
You're calling him Hefty?
Kalen DeBover.
He's not fat.
In the national, he's a Hefty Harson.
He's not fat.
I didn't say he's fat.
Shirt that was ill-fitting.
Just say he's fatter than Harson.
Well, Harson's jacked though.
Full Hefty Harson, bro.
Devin Johnson's true Tennessee pumped fan noise in. I don't know. I wouldn't think you'd need that at Neyland. That'd be crazy. But I haven't heard that. Maybe so. Okay.
Well, you played at Neyland once, but you played on a day where, man,
but it was close first half.
Went well for the home team. Well, that drive right before half, the 99-yard drive, was it like 13 plays, 99?
Half, because I literally think the defense played like 13 plays the second half or something insane. It was like 8, like they were chilling.
I'll check the box score, but I'm almost positive right before half, y'all went like 99 yards.
There was a never-ending drive in that game.
I think it was right. Let me check the box score.
It could have been first half.
That was the game.
The second half, they were completely taken out of it.
You know what I remember also about that? This was the
what's up, girl?
This was the 2011 LSU Tennessee game, 38-7. The other thing I remember about that is, was Helms? Was it Helms? Someone was hurt that game on the offensive line, and this is how paranoid Les was all week. He didn't say anything about the injury. Nothing.
No, Helms wasn't there yet. Or he was gone, I mean.
Who was this? Wasn't Duran? Who was it? Who am I thinking of?
Was I the center? No, PJ was the center?
It was Lonergan.
Yeah, but then I started at center.
Yeah, Lonergan. So Lonergan didn't play the game.
Yeah.
He was hurt. Not only did he not play, like he didn't even make the trip.
I knew I played center that game. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Here you go.
Center
Let's see.
against Tennessee. That's my specialty.
Here it is. First drive of the fourth quarter. 16 plays.
Yeah.
99 yards. 8:44 off the clock.
Their defense was so tired.
For a third, and I don't think you threw a pass on the drive.
Everybody was so tired at the end of that drive.
I don't think. Wait, let me check.
I think they basically dapped us up and we're like, bro, can y'all just score?
Yeah.
We're like, no, we have to keep running power. He won't let us stop.
All right, Jordan Jefferson 3-yard run. Jordan Jefferson incomplete pass to Odell. Spencer Ware 11 yards. Alfred Blue 3 yards. Kenny Hilliard 13
that
yards.
Was a 3rd and 7 run.
Tennessee penalty.
3rd and 7. Spencer Ware first down.
3rd and 7 run for 11 yards. That is a good call. 15-yard penalty. Michael Ford 9 yards. Michael Ford no gain. Jordan Jefferson 2 yards. Wow. Jordan Jefferson incomplete pass.
See, we used to be a society.
Jordan Jefferson run for on second and 18-yard run.
Yep.
Russell Shepard 9-yard run. LSU penalty 15-yard illegal block accepted. So it's 2nd and 16. Jordan Jefferson run for 14
Yes.
yards. Spencer Ware 3 yards. Spencer Ware 12 yards. Spencer Ware loss of a yard. Jordan Jefferson 3-yard touchdown run.
Jeez, dude.
It was 2 15-yard penalties on the drive.
That is. Are you out, club? Later, brother. Good seeing you, man.
Later, club.
He's
See you, man.
Love my kick.
There were 2 15-yard. So 99
Wait,
yards.
both were
drive.
against us?
No, one was against
him, right? Yeah.
But like, there wasn't a completed pass on the drive. There were 2 pass attempts, but you had 99 yards without a complete
only running the ball, dude. That's crazy. Oh my God, that's actually crazy. I remember.
That's so much fun.
And it's funny because I remember that,
but
dude.
not really. It's fun, it's fun to think about now. It's
that was
fun
the
when we're
most
living
tired I've ever seen both teams and the crowd. I just remember the crowd was like, "Oh my! Like, can we just leave? Like, let's just get out of here, dude." Defense is like chilling on the sideline, hanging out. I mean, it's funny because not that dissimilar from how LSU ended the Arkansas game with an 8-minute drive from 10 to 2 minutes.
All that to say, T-Bob did not have a loud experience at Neyland, but Alabama
did. No, it was, though. In the first half, it was very loud. But yes,
Alabama did this weekend.
So
much fun.
Bro, I mean.
God, I hope they lose to Missouri.
Look, the Milroe. I mean,
if they lose to Drew,
I've been the biggest Milroe believer, and
bro, Milroe sucks. I've been telling you.
I can't argue. I got my Alabama friends now mad at me saying I've been gaslighting them. That's how far it's gone,
bro. I've told you this before. The problem with sports media is it's a giant echo chamber. People say stuff.
But I'm not saying that because other people. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that because other people said that. I'm saying that because I believe that. I thought he was okay. Last year was his first year starting, and I thought he put up really good numbers and made a college ball playoff semifinal in his first year starting
because
with an offensive coordinator that was a first-time play caller, and now he had Kalen DeBoer coming in. You take your biggest leap, your first year starting, his second year starting. He had clear areas of his game to improve, the medium to the intermediate to short range. Like, it felt like, in my opinion, formed by me. What I'm saying is you don't get to attribute where my opinions originate from. It's not about an echo chamber for me. I believed objectively, for all the reasons that I just listed, that Jalen Milroe would take a big step forward this year.
Did you watch
and the South Florida game went bad. Yeah, I watched him against Michigan. That was his first year starting. That's what I'm saying. But
it was the last game of his first year.
Against an incredible defense.
And elite quarterbacks that are going to win Heismans and be first-round picks and
not in their first year starting. What was Joe Burrow's first year starting? What was Jaden Daniels' first year starting? What was
Joe Burrow like in the final game of his first year starting?
What was Jaden Daniels like in the final year of his first year starting? They were putting in Garrett Nussmeier to keep him happy. What do you mean? They were rotating Garrett Nussmeier so he wouldn't leave.
Hold on. Jaden Daniels started as a freshman. When he got to LSU, that was his 4th year as a starting quarterback. So that's a little bit different context.
Yeah, so that even proves my point further because he was a 4th year and looked like that in his first year with the team. It was Jalen Milroe's.
That's really good.
I don't need to.
No, they got into a sticky. Sticky spot with Howard and with.
My point is simply that you can't tell me where my opinions are formed from because I formed that opinion through my own analysis and read on the situation. And yeah, look, I thought I was right. And it looks like it's wrong right now. Like he did not grow in the areas that I expected him to grow. But you don't get to say that I formed that opinion because of like a media echo chamber. Like those are the objective reasons that I came up with on my own where I thought he was going to be really good.
I was saying that a large part of our industry is a giant echo chamber.
Yeah, I'm making clear where I stand.
Okay, that's fair. And I respect very much what you think about it and the work you do. I'm not saying you were just saying Milroe was great because other people were saying it.
Yeah.
What my point is, and I appreciate what you said, what my point is, a lot of times opinions, the launching point are influenced by things you hear. And you like, this is why I hate polls. I hate the Heisman voting. I hate because like we don't actually people are cowards, man. Like people aren't willing to step out and do or vote or say or stand by what they believe. It's what do you think, like what's gonna happen, and you want to go with the crowd. Like, my God, like how in the world did people not have Vanderbilt ranked before this week? Who could honestly cast a vote and not have Vanderbilt in their top 25? Who could honestly have watched Alabama and had them in their top 10? Like, what are we talking about? Like, do you go to the Heisman stuff as well? It drives me crazy. I mean, I remember years ago there was a kid on Andre Williams from Boston College, was a 2,000-yard rusher, was freaking awesome. But you know what they do? They give everyone votes for the Heisman. It's just a quarterback on the best team. So quarterback best team.
Yeah.
I did this thing. Marler has me do this thing on social media. It's like one word deal. It was like Heisman. I put Beck. And then
I saw that.
Yeah, and I was like, it's not that I think he's the best player, but I think Georgia. I thought Georgia was going to beat Texas. They did. Now he stunk in that game too, and he's not very good. Or he turns the ball over too much.
I'm still on the Cam Ward for Heisman train.
Ultimately, dude, if Miami goes undefeated, it'll be there. But Cam Ward, I think. Oregon, Dylan Gabriel, but I know
Jenny's got juice. He'll get invited. I don't think
Who?
Jenny will. Ashton.
See, but here's the thing.
I don't think he'll take home the dub.
Muse has been on this too, and my point is I saw Leonard Fournette. He wasn't just leading the Heisman balloting; they had started to engrave his friggin' name on the trophy.
Yeah, but then Alabama
happened, and dude, and then he didn't even get an invite to New York. He led the country in rushing.
Yeah, that.
But it's people are freaking cowards, man. It's so much groupthink. So it's that kid. It's going to happen to Genty. There's going to be a game where
think he'll get invited to New York.
I'm telling you what's going to happen. Boise's going to lose a game, and he's going to rush for 57 yards, and everybody's going to forget about him. They're not going to be undefeated anymore. They're not going to be in the spotlight. And then
they're not undefeated because they lost to Oregon. But
in yes, you're right. Thank you. But yes, to the point where they would be in contention for the playoff.
I would say maybe that's deserving then, though, if he had a game like that.
But
Is that an unfair metric? Yes. But if you want to win it at running back as a group of five, running back especially, you can't have that happen.
And so he'll never win it. And so I can't. Same thing with, I think Travis Hunter.
I don't think he'll win.
I think Travis Hunter is the best player in college football.
Travis Hunter will get invited because Colorado keeps winning.
I don't think he's going to get invited, bro.
If they keep winning.
Last week, he was the betting favorite. They blew out Arizona, but he didn't have
kind of hurt though. He didn't, yeah.
But he didn't have a great statistical day, and he dropped in the odds.
It's also because is Cam Ward in the lead now?
No,
or is it Gabriel?
It's Genty.
Oh, it's Genty. Who? Cam Ward and Genty? Yeah.
Are we done?
Oh, yeah, we are done. Let me see if there's any more super chats. Thomas Pyatt was talking about the Instagram curbside commercial earlier. Hell yeah, dude.
Cortland, M. Nelson, DJ, Drama. Appreciate y'all for being here.
I love everybody being here, guys. Thank you so much. Everybody hanging out. Thank you, Muse. Thanks, Please Muse. Hit the like button, sub to the channel.
I'm going to Taylor Swift tomorrow.
Are you?
Yeah.
Nice, dude. You and E-Rock? Are you going with friends?
Going with the Mockler peeps.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. That's what's up.
What's your favorite Taylor Swift song? What era are you?
The one song that I've listened to casually is the one where is it she talks about everybody's a sexy baby and she's a monster on a hill.
That's from Midnight's. That's her second newest album.
I like it.
It's called Antihero.
Antihero. Yes, I like Antihero. That's a good song.
Yeah. I like a lot of Taylor Swift stuff. I don't like.
Have you checked out Chapel Roan?
I don't like Folklore, and I don't like her new one, which is Tortured Poets Society.
I like
pretty much everything else.
Rise and Fall of Midwest Princess by Chapel Roan.
I don't know what that is.
It's my favorite album of this last year.
I don't get to listen to a lot of music.
Pink Pony Club. I listen while I work, even though right now it is firmly Vince Guaraldi season.
You know what's funny? This guy, FACP Monitoring, said it's gay. Matt knows this. It's actually the complete opposite. Because the way that I know this is my wife is one of the absurd Swifties. She's the one, she's dressing as an era. She's going as the lover era.
Okay.
My wife has been sitting up at night making a strap for her purse. No, because I've been at the house.
No, I've been helping her.
No, you haven't.
Backdoor man, all they know.
Yeah. And she is hand gluing thousands of beads.
No way.
Literally hand gluing every bead onto this purse strap.
Let's go, dude.
I'm telling you, it's So actually, to your point, it's actually the opposite of gay. It's because I'm heterosexual and married, and I'm married to a Swiftie that I know all of this. But I do like some of her music. It is, some of it's pretty good. I do like.
I mean,
I
bro,
do like some of it.
going to that concert is legendary, even if you don't like the music.
No
Like-
doubt. I love
like,
an event,
it
and this is
doesn't
going to be
matter.
like it's the most giant event in the world right now.
I mean,
Yeah, so I'm fired up about it. Shout out to Mockler Beverage.
even Taylor Sharp
I like-
went to a.
Bro, I'll go. I love
he went to a
concerts, man. I
Taylor
love
concert.
concerts. I love live events. Dude, we're in New York the
I'm
last two
just
times. I went
glad-
to Broadway. I loved it. Like, I'm not
just-
like a musical guy or anything, but dude, it's amazing to watch. Dude, we got to have a shit. Like, I bought us seats in the, what's the little thing called when you're at a table by the stage?
a table. I mean, I know
What?
about, like the orchestra pit.
No, that's up top. I'll show you. Hang
I don't
on.
know
I'll
a
show you.
table.
We went and saw Moulin Rouge, which, bro, like all the chicks in Moulin Rouge are just in like lingerie.
Okay. Relax.
And you're like right on the stage.
The kids did leave. The kids did leave.
That's crazy.
You know, oh man, maybe on Whiskey and Wine, I'll tell you about what I did at a New York club one time, because it was real freaky, real weird. Oh, that looks. I mean, yeah, that looks incredible. I've never seen that though. No,
Dude, we
I've
were
never seen
literally at the front of the
that.
stage.
Yeah, a table right by
At
the
a
stage.
table,
That's
like
amazing.
we were in
dude.
the stage made like a T,
That's an electric
and
environment.
we were
too.
right in the middle, right there.
Date night, New York City, beautiful setting. Yeah, that's
Crazy.
like that's the good stuff right there, dude. That's the best stuff in the world. The I'm just
It's great.
glad I don't have a 13-year-old daughter right now, because
You'd be broke.
you would have to find a way to get those tickets. Like you'd have to
I
go
don't
into debt. Like
dude,
you'd have to literally just charge it
Seriously.
and pay it off. And
I don't envy dads that have to do that.
just come get over it, because you can't have all of her friends going and then her not go. Like I'm very happy
guy
that mine
said,
are a little younger.
I'm not calling you gay, Matt. It's funny you know any of that. I know you're not calling me gay, and not that there's anything wrong with that. But
Yeah.
someone put in there not that there's anything wrong with that.
Methinks the lady doth protest too much.
It's a Seinfeld reference. That's, you don't know that reference?
No, I don't know any Seinfeld.
Okay,
references,
that's a
really.
Seinfeld
Except
reference.
for the Saint, for the quarterback for the Saints is Bobby A. Bear. H-E-B-E-R-T.
Whatever. I'm going to Taylor Swift tomorrow.
That's gonna be
Muse
awesome.
is going to do my show
I'm very happy for you. That's awesome. I am,
because I couldn't feasibly leave downtown Baton
Hell
Rouge
no.
at 6:00 to get to downtown New Orleans for 8:00. tomorrow.
Also, let's never forget, Taylor Swift gave
It's
$1
808.
million to Louisiana after the historic floods,
She did.
and she just gave $5 million to South Carolina after
She
their
seems super
flooding.
nice.
So
She
you
seems
know,
super nice.
we love a good philanthropic,
Yeah.
borderline billionaire.
Yeah, like I'm not moved by any of the stuff people talk about. Like I just don't like.
I mean, you're going
Live
to
your
the
life, do
literal.
you?
You're going to the literal highest grossing concert
I
tour
know.
of all time.
That's why I'm pretty excited to go.
That's
Go see it.
insane. That's cool.
She sings for like 3.5 hours though. That's long. It's probably too
Good.
much.
If I'm going to pay that money, let's stretch this thing out a little bit. Okay, I want to be there for a hot little minute,
Okay.
so I feel like my time to money ratio is working out here.
I think we're done. Muse. Thanks for watching.
Later,
Curbside.
guys.
Shout out
Thank you,
Curbside.
Curbside. Thank you,
Curbside.
AVID Inspection. Thank you, BAYOUTransformers.com.